Good morning and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Life. My name is Ololade Adeumi. I look into the Vanguard newspaper. Major headline says Soaring drug host, ignorance fueling hypertension deaths. Over 41 million Nigerians at risk as hypertension cases surge. Patients forced into deadly drug holiday as treatment becomes unaffordable. Experts warn of national emergency as sudden deaths spike nationwide. We are addressing problem, federal government says. You can find this story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Top banner says, we are not borrowing for 712.3 billion naira Lagos Airport project. KEYAMO says. You can find the story on page 9. Obi to Soludo, my one-term 4-year vow sacrosanct. You can find this story on page 8. Ojulari's alleged exit, presidency, NNPLC's silence heightens confusion. You can find this story on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. No zone in North marginalized by Tinubu, Kaduna governor says. You can find the story on page 30 of the Vanguard newspaper. Killings. Benue leaders seek EU, UK, US intervention. You can find the story on page 30 of the Vanguard newspaper. Unprecedented windfall as stock investors gain 25.7 trillion naira in 7 months. Domestic investors eclipse foreign counterparts. Experts call for caution as price correction looms. You can find the story on page 25 of the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, Afenifere to Southwest governors leverage on UN recognition to equip Amoteku. You can find the story on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Away from the Vanguard newspaper, straight into the Punch newspaper. Major headline on the Punch says 2027 tensions, APC kingmakers scrabble to quell state-level uprisings. Factions, legal battles grip party strongholds. Party upbeat over crisis in Lagos, Rivers, Benue, Bayelsa, others. Find the story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Top banner says 2027 Obi's one-term presidency gambit sparks political firestorm. Under fire, KEYAMO defends 712 billion naira airport revamp. Fuel imports surge to 71% as marketers ditch local refineries. Away from the port into the Nation newspaper, major headline on the Nation says federal government 712 billion naira upgrade will turn MMIA into world class. Away from the Nation into the Guardian newspaper. As a major headline on the Guardian newspaper, it says slow digital integration, rivalry north-south-west odds ahead of quarter 1 takeoff. You can find the story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Lower banner says, again, Nigeria rules Africa as the Tigress clinch 5th Afrobasket crown. Anglicans kick as England elects lesbian van as Archbishop. PDP leadership split on Jonathan, who will be for 2027 presidential candidacy. That's what we have on the front page of our newspapers today. Join us after the break for a quick analysis of some of our top stories. Welcome back. If you're just joining me, this is Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adewumi. You're looking to a fast story. No loan is involved. KEYAMO defends 712.3 billion naira Lagos Airport project. Amid public criticism over the federal government's approval of 712.3 billion naira for the reconstruction and expansion of the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has clarified the scope and funding of the project, describing it as a long overdue national investment. In a detailed statement released on Sunday, Keyamo explained that the approved funds would cover the complete overhaul of Terminal 1, the expansion of Terminal 2, apron improvement, construction of new access roads, and modern infrastructure upgrades aimed at transforming the airport into a world-class facility. He noted that Terminal 1 has long outlived its capacity and functionality. For Terminal 2, Keyamo said plans include the expansion of the building and apron to accommodate more and larger aircraft. The design also includes two new ring roads and a bridge to ease access to the departure lounge. He emphasized that the 712.3 billion naira project will be funded through the renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, not loans. For more details, go over to our website at www.vanguardngr.com. Away from that, into a second story. Major headline says silent killer, soaring drug cost, ignorance fueling hypertension deaths. Over 41 million Nigerians at risk as hypertension cases surge. Patients forced into deadly drug holiday as treatment becomes unaffordable. Hypertension, often referred to as silent killer, continues to reshape the lives of millions of Nigerians quietly. For many hypertensive patients, there is constant fear of going to bed and not waking up, as the country faces a disturbing trend of sudden death, many of which are linked to uncontrolled hypertension. With over 41 million Nigerians living with hypertension, challenges of proper control of the disease have currently worsened, with the unprecedented high cost of drugs, coupled with hardships occasioned by economic woes of the country. Today, Nigeria reports cases of sudden death across almost daily. A diagnosis of hypertension now feels like a death sentence, not necessarily from the disease itself, but from the overwhelming financial burden it brings. Many patients, out of fear and ignorance, are reluctant to stay on lifelong medications. Studies show that over 41 million adult Nigerians, about 38 to 40% of the population, are hypertensive. This means at least 4 in 10 adults are living with the condition. Of these, only 60% are aware of their status, about 30% on treatment, and just 10 to 15% have their blood pressure under control. Findings by Vanguard show that hypertension is no longer silent in Nigeria. It is screaming through rising mortality rates, overburdened hospital, and the agonizing choices of patients forced to pick between meals and medication. Sudden deaths are now so frequent that experts suspect hypertension plays a major role, even though families often do not disclose the causes. For more details on this story, do well to check our website at www.vanguardngr.com. We call it a wrap on the show for today. Thanks for staying with us. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as seen on your screen. And for updates on our stories at www.vanguardngr.com. My name is Olola Adeomi. Have a lovely day.